although we don't. So, what's up, fellas?
All right.
Let's do a sound check.
Joseph,
Talk to me.
Okay, Josiah is here. Leo is here.
Let's do a sound check.
Hello, Leo.
Josiah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good.
Good evening.
Leo, how are you doing,
Please kindly record it so I can use it in taking the minutes.
buddy? Yeah, I got to record it now. It's recording now.
Yeah, I don't have my pen with me, so I can't take much of the minutes. I will have to listen again.
Okay, yeah, I'm recording it, and I'll send out the record. I'll put the recording on the
all right,
YouTube.
And I don't know if we have access to that summary little gadget they gave us the last time. That was cool. I think that's something they want you to buy. A service that they summarize your meetings.
Madam, I think the last meeting was a general meeting with the entire house. This one is a board meeting, so it might not be proper to be reading the minutes of a general meeting at a board meeting.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not. No, we weren't talking about reading them. We're just talking about the fact that we are recording this thing and it'll go into the same, on the same platform as the other minutes.
Okay. All right. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. Like I said in the group chat, this is meant to be a very brief meeting because our agendas are very short agenda items. Welcome to the Transhumanist Africa board meeting. At the board do mainly are just to provide oversight functions for the rest of the, and to also be a decision-making body in guiding the trajectory of the organization. But today, this meeting was called so that we could take a step forward in our attempt to build an internal structure for ourselves and also see how we could adopt some guidelines that would guide our activities, our programs, and as well some of our conducts as an organization. So to begin with, I was just educated by Marlin, who was really at the forefront of the incorporation, that nominating board directors involve kind of you write to them or you nominate them and then they accept. So aside what we have on the certificate, we really need to do it formally. We need to do it again, as in we need to formally and officially nominate people to be on the board and then get their acceptance before we can fully constitute the board. So I will do a bit of a nomination here, but I will still have to write to each and every individual that will be nominated and maybe give some days to get their response. Hopefully, I'm hoping that everyone accepts. Then we'll come back and formally constitute our board. Now, in that case, do we still, can we adopting the bylaws today, or we leave that agenda till when we have gotten acceptance from nominees before we can come back at another meeting and talk about adopting the bylaws? I don't know if somebody can guide me on this.
Do get your board together. Then let them look at the bylaws and then submit them to the general population. But since we're small, once you get the people on the board, if we're going to go with 5 to 7 people on the board, probably be most of us here. So we'll go with that, and then we'll move into adopting the bylaws.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. In what other item in this agenda can we now do today? Because as I'm seeing it, it's like this is we
can nominate. Yeah, well, let's nominate everybody here, and then we I think everybody's probably going to accept here, and
Sorry?
just nominate everybody here now, and just make a motion to nominate all the people we got.
Okay, yeah, I think, Marlon, since we are on record, we could start with some board directors here and then expand later, right? So
Yeah.
I want to go ahead with the nominations now with those of us here, and if we get acceptance that could form a substantial amount or a quorum, then we have it on record, and then we proceed with the other items, and then maybe in a week or two, because I still have some other people in mind that I will write to and hopefully get their acceptance. But then those ones will be coming in later to see the decisions that are on record. All right. So
Let's do it
yeah.
that
So
way.
let's proceed.
So
formally
currently,
now.
no, so everybody knows currently to start the nonprofit corporation in the US the way we did, you need to have 3 names that are identified as your initial directors. All right?
Marlon, your mic is very loud today. I don't know why.
Loud or not loud enough?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me now all right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so we had to, in order to formally start a nonprofit, we must have 3 names as directors. So we included Chogu, myself, and Sagai's names, and those are the names I knew right off the top of my head, basically. And it's only 3. It was the basic minimum, but your board can be, however big your board needs to be. So the board will be making the decisions about drafting the bylaws and then submitting them to the board to get approval on what they put together, and make the decision about and since we don't have much of a membership, those will be our bylaws, and then everybody we bring in from then on will be according to what we've outlined in our bylaws. So the board is a formal way of just starting the company up. So we've got 3 people on now. We have to make a decision how many we want and who those people are. Make sure they all want to be involved. I think everybody has a sense of what board people are doing, particularly at this level where we're just all of us are together and just us. We're running the organization, but as it matures, boards aren't necessarily meant to run the organization. They're meant to provide guidance and, in most cases, financial support. That's basically what boards do, right? But since ours is a working board right now, we're just trying to get the basics of the organization up and running so that everybody that comes in next can come in as a member and come into whatever it is that we ultimately, the executive director, whoever's going to play that role, decides is the agenda that they want to pursue. And the board will be there to help pursue that agenda. And as I said, as it matures, we won't be actually making the phone calls and writing the papers, but we'll be just simply providing, more oversight and support while the organization, the executive director, the committee chairs, the members do what they do to pursue and to further the organization's purpose.
Okay. All right, Marlon, I think we should make some steps now and then see how that can help us arrive at some decisions among our items today, and then whatever we can't settle today, we move it to another meeting. So I want to make some nominations now. All right, and again, Transhumanist Africa, it's a vision that is beyond just Chogo Abdul, right? It's something that I believe should have happened long before now. I talked to transhumanists across Africa, and I realized that many of them also have that same idea in their head, but how to go about it. Our friend from Ivory Coast has had this idea for long. Someone else from Togo has had this idea for long. It seems like doing it is the real problem, but the idea has been there. All right, so I'm just trying to see how somehow it gets done. And I need as much help as I can, and as I can get from anybody who also believes in this vision. So when I extend my invitation for some people to be on the board is because I believe in you, I trust your judgment, and I need your guidance, your support, your experience, and your wisdom for us to get this project done. Having said that, I would like to start first by mentioning 3 names of persons I want to nominate to the board. And the 3 of those persons are here. So I nominate Marlene Adams, I nominate Dr. Leo Igwe, and I nominate Josiah Akinloye to be on the board of Transhumanism Africa. So let's start from Marlene Adams. Your response, please.
Sorry.
You have to
Yeah,
unmute,
yeah,
please.
I accept. Well, thank you.
Dr. Leo.
Yeah. Yes, I accept. Let's see what we can do to move the
Thank you.
way forward. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Leo. Josiah.
All right, I accept. As you know, transhumanist has always been my vision and something I really, really like. And I've been playing around within that industry also for long. So I'm happy to serve also as a board member. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Josiah, and thank you all my friends for accepting my humble invitation to be on the board. Within next week, I'll still write to about 2 or 3 other persons that will be joining us. But I think 4 of us here form a substantial number that could make decisions, and others can come and key into them. So the next item is the appointment of secretary. And before now, I have already been talking with Josiah and having him play some role on the background. So we need both a secretary of the board, or who can also be a secretary for the general house for now until perhaps we get a secretary at that officer level. But for now, we need someone that will play the role of the secretary of the board as a board member, and then okay, we'll get to the part of officers, but for now we need a secretary of the board, and I move the motion that we appoint Josiah Akinloye to be secretary of our board. How many of us are in support, please?
Second.
Seconded, okay. Dr. Leo?
Yeah. I say yes.
All right. Okay, thank you. So congratulations, Josiah Akinloye. You are the secretary of the board of directors for Transhumanism Africa.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy to be secretary.
Rue just said sent a note saying he had a little work emergency. He won't be able to join us right now.
Sorry?
Rue just sent a WhatsApp note saying he had a work emergency and won't be able to make it.
Okay, you'll be making it.
Right.
All right. I'll send him a letter of nomination also, and then hopefully he will accept, and then he will also get the recording from this meeting. Right. So then, once again, Josiah, congratulations, and I wish you success during your term as secretary of the board. The next item is the terms, the term of office for directors, the board. How many years should the director be on board, provided he or she does not resign or dies while in office? The normal tenure a director should serve on the board. So I move the motion for 5 years. Whoever has a maybe a lesser amount of years, lesser number of years, or higher number of years should feel free to also suggest. But I suggest 5 years for a term.
Okay. I kind of like 2 years myself.
2 years?
I like 2 years.
All right. I will want to suggest we just make it 2 or 3 years, because change is the only constant thing. And if we have a set of individuals running the same thing for a longer period, we might hardly see. So, in my own opinion, for creativity and bringing new innovative idea from different people, make the term shorter, and anyone that served before can still also serve again, in my own opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you for 3 years?
I could.
Yeah, maybe we
I
settle
could
for
agree.
2 or 3.
I could
2 or
agree.
3
I could
years.
agree with 3. I said 2. He said 2 or 3. You know.
Okay, Leo, let's hear you, please, from your own experience, and how many years are moderate or ideal?
I'm thinking, yeah. You see, it all depends. Yeah, 5 years can really, maybe by the time we get to the end of the term, all the members have all left. So I envisage that, but yeah, let's do 3, like it's been suggested. Even though, of course, with the enthusiasm I have, I would like very competent people to be there for a very long time and put things in place. But since it is something that we can always re-elect and have opportunity to, represent ourselves. Yeah, let's go with the 3. I'm good with it.
Okay. So you're suggesting 3 years?
Yes, he said 2 or 3 years. Yeah, and like I said.
All right. So it looks like we got a consensus on 3. We're all good with 3.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's go with 3. Let's go with 3.
Let's go with 3 with an option
It's
of
it's 3 and renewable. So it really, but in the 3, if you
3 years, and
the person feels like still going through, he can go through it, or if the person can't go through it, yeah. Plus, remember, this is transhumanism.
I mean,
things are not standing still. You know what I'm saying?
all right. So if we say 3, first let's agree. 3 years. How many of us are in support for 3 years?
I'm in support for 3 years. Yeah.
In support.
I'm support. That's 3. That's
all right. So we adopt 3 years. 3 years, and then how many terms can one go for of 3 years each?
I suggest we do it renewable every 3 years. So
yeah, renewable at the discretion of the board.
Okay, renewable for an individual at the discretion of the board.
And it's a mutual thing. It's a mutual agreement between the board and the individual. If they're
for me.
Please go ahead.
No, what I'm saying there is that for me, let's leave this as basic and let's try not make it any complex. Renewable every 3 years. This renewable is a renewable by the members or renewable by others, because we still need to, the person might say, even if we don't want the person can be voted out or something. So for me, I suggest we just leave it at renewable every 3 years, so people can represent themselves and be voted and all that. So yeah, I don't think there's a need for us to introduce any clause now that might make it complex. Well, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's good because one cannot foresee some circumstances that may just pop up down the line, and then to start regretting some of these clauses. So renew.
As I told Togo, think about this in terms of, you know, that somebody's already given you the organization $1 million. And this,
Okay, so Josiah, and renewable every 3 years.
Yes, renewable every 3 years.
Okay.
And they
So,
can vote
I think-
or elect elected.
Okay. So there's a part of the bylaws where this has to go in because it implies some little bit of revision. What is already there in the bylaws is not really does not really reflect this decision. So please, Josiah, take notes. We'll have to edit that.
All right, sir.
The bylaws have been shared on.
Okay.
Sorry.
I want to confirm if the stuff is still recording so I can have it.
Yep. Yeah, but don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
just send me a
Okay,
note.
so the bylaws have been on the group for almost 2 weeks now. I know we've all been very busy people, but I don't know. Through collaborative efforts, and then come up with I believe it's a good document. So how many of us have been able to look at it before I move the motion for adoption?
yeah, understand that this, like Leo said, this, you know, this is all very mutable. We can change it whenever we get ready. We're just getting the basics in place so we don't get hung up on it. Because there's no reason, you know, let's just get busy. So is there a motion on the table to adopt?
No, you weren't quite audible, at least from my end.
Can you hear me?
Okay, better now.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt?
Okay, who is seconding?
Okay, I second.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Do we need? Sorry.
All in favor?
I don't know if it's my network here, but I think we should get this straight again. Marlene, you
Yeah.
moved the motion for
Right.
adoption, right?
And the Josiah has seconded.
Okay.
Now is
All right. So,
all in favor?
Yeah.
okay. All right. Thank you. So let that be recorded also. The bylaws was adopted through a motion moved by Marlene Adams and seconded by Josiah, and then the other board members also are in favor. But Josiah, please take note, there's a part that we need to edit before we put it into circulation. Next is approval of officers' appointments. And about a week ago, I shared a list of, based on my own assessment of their skills, how competent they are, and what they could bring to our table. I nominated them to be appointed as heads of our departments. Because like we said, this board basically is to provide oversight functions.
Have you talked to these
decision
people?
making. We don't. Huh?
Have you talked to these folks?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, motion to accept the list. Joe, we put on the table for officers?
All right. If I want to, I presume we've all gone through the list, and
Yeah, I made
move
a
the motion.
motion's on the table. Motion's on the table. Motion to accept the list.
Okay, so who's supporting?
Just need somebody to say second, that's all.
Yeah. Okay, so I second.
All in favor? Aye.
I
All right.
Good. We got 9 minutes left.
Okay, yeah. I want everyone to have this confidence that I selected those who I believe will give us the best. So next we are on AOB. Any other business? Is there anything anyone wants us to talk about?
I did want to. I want to just throw this
Sorry?
out. I want to throw this question out there. Few weeks ago, I put out a list that was generated through the generative AI, and they just of programs and people that were in various institutions in Africa, and they're supposed to exist. And Chogwe, you commented that that wasn't real. That was just some government propaganda. That the institution that AI pulled up was not real. Has anybody else had a chance to look at that list to see if they know anything about or those institutions that were mentioned?
Marlon, to be honest, I'm struggling to, perhaps maybe when you speak direct into the mic, I get to
What, you didn't hear me, or was it what was it? Not loud enough or too loud?
maybe a bit slower.
No, I was just checking to see if anybody looked at the list of universities that are supposed to be in Africa involved with.
the list you shared of African universities.
Yes. Has anybody else looked at that list and to determine whether those are real groups or they exist, or if Chogwe, you said that the one in Nigeria, you said it didn't exist.
Oh, okay. I'll look at the list again. But what are you saying, that AI, that some of the information they are not correct, right?
I'm sorry.
So what's the point now? Is it that some of the information they are not correct? Or
No. I wanted to know if, in fact, those you said the institution that it mentioned, you said it wasn't real. It was some government propaganda. So I wanted to check with anybody else to see if they know anything about any of those or institutions that were mentioned in that list, whether they're real or not.
okay, but maybe if I can make myself clear, it's not like I said they are propaganda. Like exposure robotics. Perhaps they were in Nigeria at some point. They still have a Facebook page, but their email is not functional. Right? We can't reach them. And then some of the other institutions that I complained about, they actually exist, but they don't do the much that people out there think they're doing. Right? Some of these agencies are just moribund here, or they lack creativity. So that's what I meant. It's not like they don't exist. They are here, but that cutting edge innovation that someone outside may be thinking they are producing here is not what you find. They are mostly just government job creation
Gotcha.
agencies.
All right. Well, everybody else should take a look at that list if you can and see if because that's really what we're sort of, in terms of other business, that's really the trajectory we should try to be on. Is like, let's get some of these people, let's get this conversation kickstarted beyond, with the people who should be doing this kind of stuff, right?
All right, and then from my own end, the news I'd like to share is that our website has entered top gear in its development. I shared the link with Marlon. I'll also share it here, so that if there are any suggestions we have as to how what content we want to see built on that platform, everyone. But for now, the architecture of the website has been directed, and then we're moving towards when we start needing content. So that's the news I have to share from my own end. Any to take our closing remarks.
Good.
Okay, so since Uru Sagai is not here, sorry, Dr. Lee, to stand in for Uru Sagai and give us the closing remarks. A few minutes.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but I think that how do I go about this now? But I think, well, thank everyone for coming, and I think we have had very constructive discussion. So we're looking forward to doing whatever we can to effectively maintain the oversight. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you.
I'll send the link out to the upload.
Please send me the recording.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Right.